about functions and types. Today I'm going to explain you in a brief along with so many examples. So let's start. So guys, functions, as I have already explained you, like it is a piece. I'm just going to give you a real life example today. For example, you want to arrange a party, or you want to arrange a birthday party, or any annual program if you want to host. So you are not able to do it all alone. Like a well-defined team is required for this thing. Like you can see, team A is required for catering, team B is required for invitation, team C is required for organization, for organizing of a stage decoration or for a stage maintenance, you can see. So such kind of things, like when you divide something in different pieces, so that which can be done by different team members, so that your work will be ease out your work, and you will be able to do it in a proper way. And once your all things are done in a proper way, then you can merge these three things and your party will be arranged. So this is again known as functions. Like I'm having a one thing and I won't be able to do it all alone. So what I can do is I just can divide this entire thing into different portions, and that is known as function. So I'm just going to explain you once again. For example, this is my task. For example, I just need to do this task, and this task need few days, or something is there, and I won't be able to do it all alone. I'm having I just need some team or some different teams for who are very good in their specific job. So I just need to divide it accordingly. So you can say, like for example, this is my first part which I have divided, and this is my second part which I have divided, and this is my third part. So basically I just divided the entire task into four pieces, and these four pieces I'm going to give to my different teams. They're going to complete a work, and the work will be joined at the end, and this is my program which is done in a proper way. And whatever piece you want, you can call it anytime. So this is nothing but just honest functions, guys. So let's come to the BlueJ. We have already done in our last class. Like if you remember, you can see my code here. This is our last session in classes and objects. We have already done, because classes and objects are nothing but just about functions. Like you have your class, which is a block divided into two parts. You can access function by creating the object of a class. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this my base, and I'm going to explain you some other thing about functions, guys. So I just copied this code. If you want to attain my program, or if you want to know function from a zero level, so it is mandatory, like you please go and attend my last session. And it is very important, attend all the sessions in a proper way, sequential way, back to back, in a sequence. If you go, then I'm sure you will be able to understand Java by the end of my session. So what I'm going to do is I'm just coming back to my Java project, and I'm going to create here a new class. And today I'm going to tell you types of functions, like how many different types of functions you can use. So the name of the class is again types function. T is capital of types, F is capital of function. I'm clicking on OK button, and you can see my type function is ready here. I'm going to select entire thing. I'm removing, and I'm just pasting my code, the code which I've already done in my last class. Now, this is my code is ready here. You can see I just need to change the name of my class. My class name is types function now. So I quickly go back. I just change the name of my class. Otherwise, my program won't compile. It won't run even. So I just quickly write here types, and F is a capital of function. And here I go, and this is done. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm just going to teach you different types of functions. What do you mean by functions? We have already done. We have done this thing, like how to write a very simple function, how to return the value, but we can pass some values also into the function. We can return the value. We can call one function in another function. We even the function also can call itself. So all these things we will be doing today. So guys, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm taking here the simple like A and B only, and I'm taking here one more thing, that is C. So today I'm taking here three variables, and I'm going to store my answer in ANS. So ANS is of type double, and getter my scanner is already there. So I'm just taking a value into A and B, and I'm taking a value into C also. So I just copied this thing, and I'm going to paste this thing. I'm not going to solve the entire calculator, which I've already done in my last session, but I'm just going to take a simple function here, which will be adding, three values all together. And these three values I'll be passing to the function. So here I'm just going to start writing my code. You can see I have taken the value into A and to B, and C also I have taken. I'm going to do my entire task, and I'm just going to save my answer in ANS, which I've already declared in my variable list, if you see. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding only, but this time I'm going to pass. I'm not going to declare anything in my function, but I'm going to pass the variables into my function. The question is how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to write here L and M and N I'm going to take here. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to pass my A into L, my B into M, and my C into N, and I'm going to take all my values, I'm going to add, and I'm going to direct it. I'm just going to it is up to me. If I want, I can paste it, I can just print it in my function itself. If I want, I can return from function also. So what I'm doing here, guys, I'm simply going to write here in place of A and B. As you know, I've just received, my A, B, and C from L, M, and N. So why I'm doing this thing, for example, if you don't want to call getter, if you want to give values, of get some from outside or from public static void main, if you want to give, so this is also can be done. So I'm simply going to write here L plus M plus N. I have written this thing. So I took the value from L, from M, from N. I added all these three values and I've stored it into ANS, which I have taken in my variable list. If you want directly also, you can return it. For example, I'm just giving you an explanation how you can do it. See, I'm just returning directly. Direct, you can write here return L plus M plus N, because what is the concept of return? Like return always can return on any one value. So if you're adding L, M, and N together, definitely you will be getting only one value. So direct also it can be returned. So you can see I'm returning L, M, and N if you want to return integer type, because right now I'm not storing in any of the variables. So direct, I can write here any type. I just can write here int or double or anything. So here you can see I'm just passing, L, M, and N. I'm adding and I'm returning some values. Now next program, what I'm going to do is in next function, what I'm going to do here, guys, you just can see I'm returning here again the integer, but this time I'm just adding only L and M. So again, I'm just going to give a new name to the function, but if I want, I can give get sum only, but right now I'm not using here function overloading. So I'm just going to do one thing, and I'm just writing here get sum one. So this is my get sum one. I simply write here int L comma int. I'm writing here M. So you can see I'm having a function available whose name is get sum one, who is basically adding an lmn only. I'm not adding anything else. So if you want, you can write here L plus M also. So whatever value wise you are passing, like while you're calling get some one function, whatever values you're passing from public static void main, one value will come to L, second will go to M. Both the values will be added up, and your answer will be saved in ANS, which is of type double, definitely. And I'm just going to return it. I'm just returning my answer, and my answer type is integer or double, whatever you need to see, and you need to write the same. So my answer type is double. So if I took double here, I just need to define double everywhere. Wherever I'm returning answer, I just need to write there double. So I'm simply going to override, and you can see it is double now because I'm returning my answer. Now next time I'm just going to write here. I can write C in a series. I can write get some one, get some two, n number of function I can make up here, and I can do anything in this. Not compulsory only. You can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, whatever you want. You can do it. Like you can see, I'm just writing here MUL. I'm writing a multiplication, and I'm again going to pass inside L, inside M, and I'm not taking another variable, and I'm multiplying and I'm returning. So if you want direct, you can return. For example, you simply can write here L multiple M and your answer will be returned. It is up to you, guys. It is up to you. See, I've already told you if you're returning a variable, that the return type should be the type of the variable. Like if you're returning ANS type is double, so return type also will be double. But if you're writing such kind of codes, for example, if you're directly returning, if you're simply writing L into M, so we don't have any predefined type here. It is up to you, like what kind of a variable do you want to return from this function? Is it double or integer? Whatever you want, you can write here and it will be returned. So guys, we have done, these many functions. I'm just going to remove this function and I'm going to explain you how you can call it now. While you're giving any value to the function, how you can call it. So type function is the name of my class. I simply go back and I copy this thing so that I can create an object of my class. I just click on type function. You can see I clicked, I copied types function. I'm coming back to public static void main, and what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to paste in place of functions. This I've pasted. This is my type function. This again I have pasted. This is my type function. I got obj. Obj.getter means I'm getter. The moment I'm calling getter, as it means I'm giving value A, B, C, and D. But if you don't want to call getters, you can remove it, because directly when you're calling function, you can give values at a time. So I'm removing this entire thing and I'm explaining you once again. Now you can see, you can go back and you please see the functions. And getter, what I'm doing, I'm just giving my value a, b, and c. So if you want, you can call getter function, you can give the value a, b, and c. And if you want to give directly value, so you can call the functions like get sum, and you can give the values directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you how to pass the values direct first of all. So I've just called the name of my class, L, M, and these three value I just need to give, guys. This is very important. You need to keep, you need to remember this thing. You need to keep it in your mind how many values you are going to pass here. So I simply write here obj dot get sum. I come out and I just open here brackets, and get sum is a function which I have defined basically, which is asking me for the values, like three values I just need to give up here, guys. So I simply write here 2, 3, 4. So my 2 will go to L, my 3 will go to M, and 4 will go to N. So L, M, N, my all three variables will be initialized with these three values, and I'll get my answer here only. So if I want, I can save it to ANS and I can print it, or if I want direct, I can paste. So simply I just write here system dot out dot print ln, and direct I'm just going to write here, because here I'm adding, simply I'm adding here, and otherwise you can just add your comment whatever you want. So I just simply, I'm just catching my answer. Or if you want direct also, you can write here, like if you want, you can write here directly obj dot get sum, and here you are passing values, so 2, 3, 4. This can be done in this way also. Or if you want to call the function and you want to store it in ANS, so that also can be done. So I'm doing in both the ways, obj dot, and I'm just writing here get sum, and here, guys, here I'm giving again the value from my end. So these three values I have given, and your answer but still stored in ANS, which you need to print. So I'm simply going to copy this thing. I'm coming up here and I'm pasting. So I'm just calling one function in different ways. So you also can call it. Now it is not mandatory here to call, because I have already called and my answer is saved in ANS. So I'm just going to paste here directly ANS. So guys, here I've explained you that we have two different ways. Even if you want, you can call, you can save it in ANS, and ANS can be printed in system.out.println, or directly also can be called. Now next way, perfectly another way, a different way I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to use here getter function, and then I'm going to call. So how to use getter function, guys? I'm simply going to write here obj dot, and I'm writing here getter. Now the moment I write here getter, what is going to happen? You can see the moment I'm writing here getter, what is going to happen? My A, B, and C will get initialized. Once my ABCs will get initialized, I just can use my ABC also to give the values in place of L and M and N. So I just can do it even. So what I'm going to do is I simply add here public. I just want to explain you what do you mean by visibility mode, guys. Here it is very important. Visibility modes, like we have a 3 visibility mode in Java. Public is public and private and protected. So if I make all these, my data member public, it means it can be accessed anywhere. And if I make my class public, I will be able to access my class anywhere. So what I'm going to do is, once I call getter, I'll be getting my all values into A, B, and C, and A, B, C can be given in place of L, M, and N. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just coming back here. I'm clicking on this system. I'm coming back here. If I'm using getter, means getter is going to initialize my A, B, and C, and A, B, and C can be written here directly. So I'm calling my get sum. I'm having my adding, I'm having my obj dot get sum I'm calling, and if I'm writing like this, A, B, comma, C, A, B, comma, C means this function definitely my get sum is asking me our values. But if I'm writing A, B, C, what is going to happen? My A, B, and C, guys, these are not a non-static. Now, what do you mean by static and non-static? This I'll be explaining you in my next sessions. But as of now, if I'm accessing my data member or member function, whatever I'm accessing, I just need to create an object of my class. So that means once I create an object of my class, just putting the name of my object, I put dot, I can either access data member or I can access my member function. So anything can be accessed. So what I'm going to do here is simply I just need to write here obj dot a, and I'm writing here obj dot b, and I'm going to write here obj dot c. So if I'm doing A, B, and C, so I'm just going to fetch, the A, B, and C value from my classes with the help of obj, and I'm going to give in place of element n. So when my get sum function will be called, the L value will be initialized with A of type my class, like my class name is types function and data member is A. So A value will be replaced with L. Same B will go to M and C will go to N, and I'll get my answer. So I'm just going to click on compile. I'm coming back to my home screen. I'm going to run. I'm going to explain you how it is going to work. Here I'm having types of function. I'm going to right click here, and you will be able to see the output. So please enter value for A and B, guys. I'm just writing here A and B. basically it is giving me three, means it is going to ask me three values A, B and C, but just here I have not changed the comment. It should be A, B and C. So I'm giving you one more value, that is 3. So you can see the addition is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 addition, I'm getting this thing. So guys, it is going to work in this way. You can see my code properly, what is happening here, and you will be able to understand like how it is working, like how I'm calling my function. So this is all about the function calling. You can give values and you can call. Now guys, we have done this thing like how to call functions, how to give values into the functions, how to return values from the functions. Now I'm just going to do some few changes here, and I'm going to explain you how you can use this as a nested function. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grade the code, or like I'm just going to apply multiple comments so that my line of code are not going to work, and I'm just going to comment this thing. You will get all my codes in description. Do not worry. Now what I'm going to do is I've just declared here one more variable, that is answer of type double, and I'm going to explain you how you can call the functions as nested function. Means one function can be called from some other function. You can see I have created the object of my class, guys. I'm simply going to write here obj dot get sum. So basically my sum function is going to work up here, and it is asking me to enter three values. So I simply write here three values, and this function is going to work. What I'm going to do is I simply come up here in getter, and I'm going to call, I'm just going to write the name of my one function within another function. You can see like my get sum I've already called, and I'm returning here something, and I'm going to get my answer. But if I just want to call one more function from here, how I can do this thing. So I'm just going to explain you this thing. Here what I'm going to do is I'm just, for testing purpose, I'm just going to create here one more function, and you will be able to know how it is working. So the name of my function is void, and I simply write here get, and I'm going to write here get message. Get message is my one more function where I'm not doing anything, but it is just going to print some message, and you will get to know like this. You can call all the functions, like nested functions can be called in this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the system.println, and I'm just going to print some message here. So I just go up and I come to my get message function, and I'm just going to paste it here. So you can see this is my code is pasted here, and I'm just going to write here nested is calling, or nested function is working. So I just can write like this. I'm inside, and I'm simply going to write here nested and function, nested function I have written here. I'm just going to click on compile. Now what I'm going to do is, guys, get message I'm not going to call from public static void main, but this function I'm going to call from some other function. You can see I've just copied this thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call in all the functions. So whatever functions I'm calling, get message will be called automatically. This is nested, guys. This is called known as nested function. What is the advantage of nested function? Like I don't need to create the object of my class, because the class function is like whenever you have, like you have a one class, we have so many functions in the same class. So all these functions can talk to each other, without any issue. They don't need to create any objects, and that is the reason like get message is a function, and get sum is again a function. I'm in my class only, I'm going in my class only, I'm not coming out of my class. And if I'm doing such things, I don't need to create the object of my class. My one function can be called in any other function without creating any object, and that is the reason my get message function is called. You can see it is working. I'm just going to copy it, and this is known as nested function. When you are calling one function within another function, that is known as nested function. And here again you can call, so you can call multiple times. That is not compulsory, you just can paste it only one time. You can call multiple times, but always remember, guys, while you're returning something, you just need to paste it before this, because return your function will get exit. So while you return something, while you go and return answer, you won't come back to the function. So whatever you want to do anything, or whatever task, whatever action you need to take, that you need to take before the return, like while you're returning the answer, before this you need to take up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply indentation. You can see I'm calling here get message function twice. If you want to call many times, you can call it. It is up to you. It is your function. You call it 100 times, more than 100 times. If you don't want, you don't call it even. This is the advantage of calling function, guys. This is the advantage when you are not writing anything in public static void main. It is not compulsion that you have to call, or that line of a code is going to work out. It is not going to work if it is a part of a function. It is up to you. It is in your control. If you want to call, you call. If you don't want to call, you don't call. So I'm just going to apply here indentation, guys, and I'm going to run it then. When my code is done, you can see I've applied indentation. I'm just going to click on compile. I'm going to show you the output on my screen now. So type functions, I'm going to right click. I'm clicking on void main, and here you can see my output. So this is nested function it's calling. Okay, nested function you can see because I'm just calling one function, and that is the reason you won't be able to see. So go back to the public static void main. Here I'm calling only get sum. So if I call more functions, you can see more times get message. So what I'm going to do is I'm calling one more time. One more thing I'm calling here, get multiplication. Let's call. It is asking just two values, and I'm just calling here this a public static void main get multiplication. I'm coming here and I'm just going to call it, and it asks only for two values. So I simply go back here and I write here obj dot get multiplication, and I'm simply writing here two values because it needs two values only. I go back and I check get multiplication, how it is going to print the answer. If it is returning anything, then I need to print. Fine. So this is my get multiplication, guys. It is again returning. That means I need to, it is returning. What do you mean by returning? We have already done, like if my obj dot multiplication, this is my function, it is taking my two values. If it is returning me something, definitely I need to catch it in some variable and I need to print it. Or the shortcut is I simply can write system dot out dot println. So whatever answer is going to throw on me, I'm going to print it using system.out.println. So guys, basically if any function is throwing you something, you please write the name of that function as system.out.println. So it will be printed, it will be thrown back to the console, or if you want, you can catch it in some variable, you can do some further calculation and then you redo it. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to copy the system.out.println. I've copied this thing. I come back here to my main screen and I'm just going to open around brackets here, coming back here and opening once again. Now you will be able to know I've compiled. I'm coming back to my code and running it here. I'm simply going to click on type function, and this is my void main. You can see the output now. I'm just going to click here on option and clear. Now you will be able to know the latest output. So again, I redo the things, that is void main, and you can see the output, guys. So this is nested function. The first one nested function is coming up with the help of get sum, because I have added up something from get multiplication. I have pasted get message two times, so that is the reason I'm getting nested function. So this is all about nested function, guys. You write all many functions, you just call one function, and in that one function you call different functions. It will be called automatically. You don't need to call specifically each and every function in public static void main. If you want, you can call one function within another function, or you can call even two functions in one function. You can call many functions in one function. There is no criteria. You can call any function in any other function, but basically when the function, when two functions talks to each other, when they call in each other, object creation is not very important thing. You just can create and you can do it. All right, guys, the code will be shared with you in description. And now it is a time to come up on a very important thing like function overloading, which I'm going to explain you. So what do you mean by function overloading? First of all, I'm going to explain you in my screen. I'm coming back to my fresh screen. I'm going to explain you what do you mean by function overloading, guys. So guys, function overloading means when you do one thing many times, or overloading means you are overloading the thing you're doing again, you are doing again, you're doing again, you're doing. So that is known as function overloading. So how it differ from function? At simple function, Yes, I'm going to explain you. So guys, when you come on overloading, that means here we will be having a same name of a function, but it will be doing multiple tasks. So basically function overloading is an example of polymorphism, which is again a very famous principle of object-oriented programming language. Polymorphism means one thing, many tasks. When you have one thing, but it performs a different task, multiple tasks, that is known as polymorphism. For example, a board, a real life example, I'm going to give you a blackboard. You can teach any subject with the help of this. So that is again an example of polymorphism, one thing, but many tasks. So what I'm going to teach you in my BlueJ today, guys, I'm just going to take here a function like get sum, and the same name is going to add, sometimes two variables, sometimes three variables, sometimes four variables. All these things are going to happen. So I'm going to take this function. I'm going to take two function. I'm going to take three functions, and you can see like sometimes two variables, sometimes three variables. And but I just need to make some changes. Yeah, I just need to explain you. We have few rules for this, guys. Let me clear you the rules. What is the rule of this thing? For example, in first get sum, you are adding two variables. In next one, you are adding three variables. In next one, you are adding four variables. The thing is that we never work on return type. Like return type can be same. Maybe your first one return type is int, your second one return type is again int, and your third one return type is again int. But the main and important part is the type which you are taking here in a functions. Like this is the place, guys, which is again known as our formal parameters. A parameter list, what I give here, that is known as formal parameters. And the actual parameters, the actual values which I'm passing from public static void main, that is known as actual parameters. But the function who is holding the values, like specifically when I'm declaring, when I'm defining the body of the function, so the values which I'm giving to the function, the values which I'm throwing and giving it to the function, so there the function, the parameters where it is accepting, where it is holding, that is known as formal parameters. So the formal parameters type should not be same, and the order and the sequence should not be same. So these are three different things which you just need to follow. So first is order, means order of data types. You can see order. Sequence is very important, like integer float and float integer. This is again very important. So order, sequence, order, and the number of variables is very important. For example, you can see your first get sum is having two variables, three, and the second get sum is having three variables, and next get sum is having four variables. So here we have a different order, different number of variables, guys. You can see this is here we have a two, here we have a three, here we have a four. Now the main and important thing is how your compiler is going to differentiate if you are not going to follow the constraint. Why following constraint is very important. Otherwise, compiler won't be able to understand like which get sum do you want to call. So definitely, if I'm calling get sum, if I'm passing two variables, my two variables get sum will be called. If I'm passing three variables, my three variables get sum function will be called. So it is very, very, very important, even mandatory, to give a unique definition to the compiler, so the compiler will be able to understand. Compiler will be able to make a difference in between many functions. One more thing I would like to tell you here about data types is again very important. Like the sequence of data type is again very important. If I'm taking integer and float, so next will be float and integer, or character integer, or float character. So the sequence is again not to be similar. If I'm taking integer, and everywhere two variables, definitely my compiler won't be able to make any difference. So the difference is very important, and difference you need to make based on this order what I have told you, order, sequence, and number of variables, guys. This is very important. So order of the variables, sequence, as well as the number of variables is very important. So let's come to the code now. I'm just going to explain you through one program which is very simple and you will be able to understand. So what I've explained already in Paint Editor, the same thing I'm going to explain you in BlueJ. So I'm coming back to my home page and I'm clicking here on new classes, and I'm just going to write here overloading. So this is what known as overloading. So here I have created a class and I'm going to open it and I'm going to write a code. The same code what we have done, same thing I'm going to explain you. So guys, this class is my keyword. We always know this thing. Class should be written in small letter, and my class name is overloading. The same name what I have written in my BlueJ while I was creating my class. The same name I'll be writing here, and let's create data member first of all. So these are my data member. I simply going to write here. These are my data member. And after this, I'll be writing here my member functions. These are my member function, which I'll be writing here. I just come up here and I write here that is A, comma B, comma C. Well, this is not mandatory. If you want, you simply go and write a member function and you can pass the variables from public static void main. But if it is very important, then you can use this data member. Otherwise, it is not very important. If you want, you can skip this thing and you can go with the member function. You can pass values from public static void main and your work will be done. So what I'm doing as of now, I'm not taking these things because it is not mandatory. Even if I don't take data member, the function of the program will be much easier for you to understand. So I'm just going to write here, guys. I'm writing an integer because my function name is getSum, and my first function getSum is going to add two values. So I'm taking int A, I'm taking int B, and this I have done. I'm going to write a code inside now. So guys, what I'm doing here, I simply go and write system.out.println, or if you're returning, you can write here int and you just need to return here. So whatever value I'm passing, from public static void main, that will go to A, that will go to B. And these variables like integer A and B, these are known as formal parameters, guys. You just need to understand this thing. These are known as formal parameters. This A and B are known as formal parameters. And why this is known as formal parameter? Because its scope is even local till getSum is in your use, or you can say till your control is in a getSum. Till the time only A and B will be alive. Otherwise, they are of no use and they will be removed from the memory. And that is the reason we just take it just for formality, because we are just passing the values from actual parameter to formal parameter, and that is the reason A and B are known as formal parameter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to write here A and B together. I'm just going to add and I'm going to return this thing. So guys, I simply going to copy this function and I'm going to paste it two more times so that my function overloading will be done. You can see I have pasted this thing together, but here I'm getting error, and I seriously want to show you what is that error. You please see to it and you will be able to understand what is this written here. Like method getSum int is already defined in class overloading. This is only the reason, guys. We just need to put constraint. We just need to understand like order, sequence, as well as the number of variable what you're creating. That is very important. Otherwise, compiler won't be able to understand. Compiler won't be able to make a difference, because these two things are looking like a same. So what we need to do is we just need to make some difference. So here I'm following order of means the number of variables, and I'm taking a C again, like one more thing like A, B, and C, and I'm adding my C also. And here I have done. Now I'm taking one more time. I'm just going to copy the paste one more thing once again. Now here you can see if I'm writing here C, it is again going to give me some error because A, B, and C is again same. So what I need to do is I just need to do here one more thing. One more time I'm taking here one more variable, that is G. So guys, you can see in first one I'm taking 2, then I'm taking 3, then I'm taking 4. So that means I'm taking 4 different variables and I'm writing here A plus B plus C plus D. So guys, this is known as function overloading. You can see this is the name is same like in all the functions. GetSum is same, again GetSum is same, again GetSum is same. I'm not making any changes with the name of the function. The name of the function is same everywhere you can see. Now once I have completed my all functions, I'm just going to switch back to the public static void main, because definitely my main function is a driver function. I'm going to drive my entire code right from there. So I simply write here public static and void and main, and I'm going to open parenthesis. Come to my next line, I'm going to create here object. Definitely object creation is very important, otherwise I won't be able to call my functions. I simply write here overloading, which is the name of my class. I write here the name of my object. Again I go back, and it's better to copy. So I simply copy, I come back and I paste, I open parenthesis, come to my next line. Now guys, I'm just going to write here getSum, which is my first function. Definitely it is asking me to enter two values and I've given, and I'll get my answer automatically because I'm using their return, and I'll add system.out.println also. Now my next getSum is asking me to give three values. So I'm giving here three values. Next is going to give me to give four values. So I'm giving here four values. What I need to add here only system.out.println, so that my answer will be cached and will be printed to the output screen directly. So I simply go and write here system.out.println. I open brackets and I come to the last line, and here I add. Same thing, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to copy the system dot, this out.println. I copy, I come here, I paste here, I open brackets, I go to the and I close this thing. I close this thing, I come to the home and I paste it again, I open bracket, I go to the and I close the final bracket. So guys, I'm just going to apply here indentation and I'm going to run them. So you can see my code, my entire code is indented, my code is on trace. Now get some obj dot get some, my dot is removed from here during copying and pasting. So guys, this is very important. You know, copy pasting is again very important thing. So while you're copying and pasting, please paste it in a proper way and check don't forget to check your code at the end. So you can see my class name is overloading. I have done these are my member functions. Basically, this is overloading, guys. You can see this is overloading. One very important thing I just need to explain here. This is overloading. Overload because I'm just overloading my function. You can see my function is overloading. This get sum is overloading here. My get sum is again overloading here. And basically, you know, we write overload like this, like whenever we overload, so that the one who is using will be able to understand like which function is overloaded and in what way and what are the signatures and prototypes will be able to understand. So guys, here you can see my first function get sum is overloaded. Why overloading, guys? Because the name is same. Here also the name is same, only order, sequence, and the type of the variable is different, you can say. So this is all about known as function overloading, and I'm calling with the help of object. The name is same, I'm giving the values, and I'm just going to copy. I'm going to click on compile. You can see the code is done. I'm coming back to my main screen and I'm just going to right click here, clicking on void main, and my code is done. I'm coming back to my home screen and you can see. Now, if you want to see only the answer, I'm again coming back to my code and I'm simply adding something there so that you will be able to understand as how to add comments with this. So, you know, this is my first function I can write here. This is my first function. I simply can write this thing. I can copy and paste, or I can copy this entire thing and I can paste in like in the beginning of each and every function whatever I'm calling, and I just need to make this one is my second one, this one is my second one, and here I'm just going to paste, and this is my third one. So this here we have done everything, guys. So I'm just going to run it one final last time and you will be able to see the output. I come back to overloading, I click on void main, I go back to my screen and you can see now first function, second function and third function, guys. So this is my addition of 2 numbers, this is 3 numbers and this is 4 numbers. So this is all about function overloading, guys. You will get my code in description. So please keep coding if you want to learn, and we'll meet in our next session now with some new topics and new examples. So thank you so much.